Welcome to the Tea Huddle with Marisa and Kelly.
Your only source for gridiron gossip. If you're interested in the NFL and what's happening on the field,
or if you're interested in the NFL and what's happening off the field, then this is the place for you.
It's good to be back.
Yes.
Week 1 has officially finished.
We have 1 week of football under our belts. What a week it was, Kelly.
So much football, starting with Thursday, then we had Friday in Brazil, a full weekend.
So much Sunday, another game Monday.
Loved it.
Kelly, in our first rundown of season 2.
So exciting.
Break it down for us. Give us the football news of the week. What happened? Because there's a lot of off-field news to cover, but we'll get to that.
Yeah, all the good on-field coverage we will also get to.
Yes.
Starting with big things happened. Saquon Barkley scored 3 touchdowns to the Eagles to win in Brazil. So he came out strong for his new team, the Eagles.
They were glad to get him.
Oh, yeah. My Patriots also silenced all the critics and upset the Bengals.
I'm the critic. They silenced me.
We'll get to that later.
Yeah.
Caleb Williams did not look great in the Bears' win against the Titans. And the Giants were booed off their own field after losing to a backup quarterback. That hurt to watch.
Yeah.
And then on Monday night, the 49ers mopped the floor with the Jets, and they didn't even have Christian McCaffrey, the offensive player of the year.
Didn't need him.
So that's what the future holds for the Jets.
Yeah, New York team's not looking great. There was a lot of excitement on the field on Sunday, but I'm going to say way more excitement before the games began. We usually don't start our top stories like this, but it is time for an early edition of Step Out of the Car. Step out of the car, Tyreek Hill. Step out of the car. I'm going to start by saying the unthinkable happened this week. We are taking Tyreek Hill's side in something. This is obviously a tricky one. I know we poke some fun at these players for getting in trouble, but the response from the police officers was unnecessary, and we're going to get into everything that happened before Miami's game on Sunday.
Yeah, I even hate calling it step out of the car because the officers didn't even say that.
They
that.
pulled him out of the car. Yeah.
Yeah, as we all have seen by now, Tyreek Hill was detained for a driving-related incident on his way to the Sunday game. And what could have been a routine traffic stop, but escalated very quickly and has turned into a massive controversy. We now know that Tyreek was driving his McLaren 720S 60 mile per hour in a 40 mile per hour zone when the cops pulled him over.
Yeah, body cam footage has been released earlier this week. It shows one of the cops going up to his car, tapping on his window. He does roll his window down. It reveals he's not wearing his seatbelt. And he cooperates, but he's definitely having some attitude with the cops. He gives them a hard time for tapping on his window. And then he rolls the window back up. And this is when it really starts to escalate. The cops get aggressive and forcibly pull him out of the car.
Yeah, it's crazy. You can see in the body cam footage, they throw Tyreek onto the ground face down. And then when they bring him to the sidewalk, they force him down again. Tyreek, you can hear him pleading with them to take it easy because he just had knee surgery. And they're making snide comments about hearing surgery or ear surgery or whatever, not listening to directions.
Yeah, you can hear in one of the videos, one cop says to another, "You know who that is, right?" And the cop says no, and he says, "That's one of the Dolphins' star players." It does not make them go easier on him. They're super aggressive. Other players, Odell Beckham Jr., Janu Smith, and Calais Campbell all happen to drive by. It's a crazy scene because there's fans walking by, there's players driving by. It must be right outside.
I know.
The
imagine like
to
tailgating and watching all of that happen.
Yeah. So the 3 different players all happened to drive by the scene where it was happening, tried to intervene and help. Smith and Campbell were both threatened to be arrested as well, with Calais Campbell being handcuffed and detained on his knees on the pavement as well. While he's in handcuffs, a fan in a Dolphins jersey walks by, and he's clearly in the middle of something with the police, arms behind his back, handcuffs, and the fan goes, "Hey man, really big fan." And Calais puts a big smile on his face and goes, "Thanks man, really appreciate that." So
at least he's de-escalating the situation.
Yes, he was so calm. So there's footage of just the interaction with Campbell. He's super calm the whole time, super compliant, is like, I don't understand why I'm being put in handcuffs. And the cops are just like, because we can.
Yeah. Tyreek, of course, was released in time to make it to the game, and he had a hell of a game. Tyreek had 7 receptions for 130 yards, including 1 touchdown. And we've all seen how he celebrated by mimicking the incident with his arms behind his back like he was being arrested. And so, Tyreek, you officially made our list for best celly.
An early submission. One of the cops involved has been placed on administrative leave while they investigate. And this has sparked, in the days since it happened, huge conversations about police brutality, the reality of being a black man in America, and what might have happened if these were not like famous, respected men. Tyreek Hill said in an interview, like, what would have happened if I was not Tyreek Hill?
Yeah.
This doesn't take Tyreek Hill off of our list of enemies. He's still on, but in this incident, he was mistreated.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how this investigation is concluded. And I saw the Dolphins release a statement, so we're all waiting to see what happens and how it's handled.
Definitely. Also in criminal investigation news, sort of, we won't waste too much of your time on the biggest creep in the whole wide world. But there's yet another lawsuit against Deshaun Watson for sexual violence and battery.
He's also just terrible at football. This man needs to be locked up and forgotten about.
No redeeming qualities.
Currently, the NFL has not placed him on the commissioner exempt list. No surprise there, but the investigation is ongoing. Yes.
So a new lawsuit was just filed in Texas earlier this week from a woman who's only identified as Jane Doe. The suit claims that he sexually assaulted her when they had plans to go on a date in October of 2020 in Texas when Watson was playing for the Texans at the time. I'm not going to get into all the details of the assault, but I will say it describes his request for a massage, which lines up with the previous 26 lawsuits filed against him over the last few years. Of those, 23 of them were settled outside of court. The other 3 include one that is still pending. One is pending but dormant. I don't know what that means. We should phone a lawyer about the difference between pending and pending but dormant.
It sounds not good.
Like
no one's looking at it.
It's on a shelf and collecting dust. And the other one was withdrawn. Throughout all of this, Watson has maintained his innocence.
Yeah, the NFL said they were reviewing the complaint along with the other 23. And they will look into this matter under the personal conduct policy. The investigation is being led by Lisa Friel, the NFL's special counsel for investigations. She is the former chief of sex crimes unit in the Manhattan District Attorney's Office.
That's so Olivia Benson. Get him, Lisa.
She also led the probe into the accusations in 2021 when he was suspended for 11 games and had to pay $5 million fine. So she is going to take this seriously.
Hell yeah, Lisa. We've got your back. It's also worth noting that this week, Deshaun Watson had a cameo on season 8 of the Netflix reality show Selling Sunset. It's like a very fake reality show about real estate in LA. Him and his girlfriend were looking at a house, and one of the show's stars, Trishelle Staus, posted on Snapchat over the weekend that keeping him in was certainly a choice, she said. She said, Google him and you'll see why I say that. I think we can all agree that we can agree with Trishelle that this man is a menace to society and should not be in the NFL and should probably be locked up to protect
get him off of
the rest
reality
of us.
TV and the NFL
and the field.
TV. And the field. I'm sure we'll have more on that in the future as the investigation unfolds. But for now, the NFL seems to have a new star. Jordan Mason, a running back for the 49ers, stepped up this past Monday night amid the absence of Christian McCaffrey. He had a hell of a game, 147 rushing yards, a touchdown, 28 carries, So it's clear that Jordan learned as much as he can from Christian, being his teammate. But what should have been a celebration at the end of the game turned into a scandal.
I love a scandal.
Yeah, we love a scandal. When he let it slip in a post-game interview that he knew he would start on Friday.
I was watching this. So I was playing somebody who had Christian McCaffrey, and it said he was questionable, and I thought I had no chance to win my game. And then Sunday, Christian McCaffrey is out. I'm shocked. The world is shocked. You know who isn't shocked? Jordan Mason, because he knew on Friday. And then he said it, and I was like, I feel like they're supposed to announce it as soon as they know.
Exactly the issue. Yeah, he was listed, Christian McCaffrey was listed as questionable until Monday night, 90 minutes before kickoff. So right up till the game. Yeah, all these players who have their teams lined up, all these fantasy teams were pissed and let down. Because he should be giving like your highest points on your fantasy team.
He's the number one
guy, and he ain't out there.
Nope.
Yeah, we both understand the implications that could cause
as fantasy football fanatics, pros.
Yeah, winner.
Yeah, Kelly beat me by a lot. But anyway, back to. But also.
Guy. Sure, people are pissed because they're fantasy teams, but there's also NFL rules, and this could cause fines down the line because the rule is that the information on players' injury reports must be credible, accurate, timely, and specific, right up to and like released as early as possible.
Mm-hmm.
And if investigated, it could lead to a fine, or if even severe enough, they could suspend players and make a team forfeit a draft pick.
Oh my gosh.
Which I don't think will happen. I think it's very hard to know for sure if Christian McCaffrey was out on Friday.
Right. They could have told this guy, like, get your head in the game. Like, you might be playing.
Yeah, which is exactly what Kyle Shanahan, the coach of the 49ers, said after the interview was
damage control
was that he didn't tell Mason that he was going to start, but he said to be prepared to play a lot is his damage control.
Yeah, like how can you prove what he said to him behind closed doors on Friday?
Yeah. So Christian McCaffrey's out with a calf strain and Achilles tendonitis, which I guess is caused by like overuse. He was like in and out of practice all week. And the 49ers did release all that information. So the fantasy owners should have known at least that much. But Mason was visibly upset in his interview.
It was so sad.
Podium after the game because I guess someone must have yelled at him from the 49ers and told him that he said too much.
Definitely.
He was taking questions from the reporters after the game again. Another reporter asked the same question about when he knew he was going to start, and Mason said, "This is why I don't like talking to the media, because you say one thing wrong and then, I don't know, just skip the question." So,
yeah,
poor guy.
You say one thing wrong and out your coach is breaking the rules.
He had the best game of his career, and now he's like getting yelled at for maybe like causing his team to be fined, or who knows.
Gotta be careful. They should be media training these guys.
Be media trained. How's he supposed to know?
Yeah.
He's just, maybe an honest man.
I know, but he was so happy in that first interview where he said that I knew on Friday, and all the other guys, like Debo went up and put a big chain on his neck, and all the guys are like hyping him up. And, you know, you're filling in for the best guy. You probably are like nervous. You have big shoes to fill. He shut it down. Like, he should have been celebrating that night. But in that second interview, he seemed so sad. Poor guy.
So I think he spoke incorrectly. And
that's what they want you to think.
And now he's learned. He's learned what not to say to the media. But for real, if they 49ers want to trade Jordan Mason to another team, we'll happily take him to the Patriots.
Yeah.
Do you need him if you have Christian McCaffrey?
That's two great running backs. It worked out for me personally that Christian McCaffrey was out because I did win that game. I lost against you, but as I mentioned, I'm now in 3 fantasy football leagues because It's my whole life. It's my passion. I lost to Kelly, but I won my other two. So
Thanks, Christian.
yeah. Good win, Cal.
Thanks.
All right. Now for some non-football news. It was announced on Sunday that Kendrick Lamar is going to be headlining this year's Super Bowl taking place in New Orleans. I'm excited.
Exciting. Yeah. I think it'll be entertaining.
It felt early. I was like, there's no way they announced Usher this early last year, but I looked it up and they announced him late September. So not quite this early, but I thought it was like well into the season.
I wonder if performers have to like apply. Do they get selected?
Yeah. How is that determined? We're going to look into that.
Yeah, we'll find that
and
out.
let you guys know. He was a featured performer just a couple years ago in 2022 alongside Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, Mary J. Blige, and Eminem.
He's warmed up and ready to go.
Yeah, it won't be a new stage for him. He has had collaborations with SZA, Beyonce, Taylor Swift.
Ooh.
So we can't wait to see who he brings out. And
Taylor.
do it. Do it for the tea huddle. Yeah, it's going to be fun. And it's fun to already know who it's going to be. People were pissed. And by people, I mean Nicki Minaj, that it's in New Orleans and it's not Lil Wayne. Because he is from New Orleans. He is to New Orleans what Eminem is to Detroit.
Yeah. Lil Wayne would be fun. That'd be like a flashback to...
Yeah. And he could have so many guest stars too. Maybe
But it's
next
not
year.
his time.
Yeah.
Maybe he'll be a guest
Yeah.
for Kendrick Lamar.
Yeah,
Maybe
totally. And Taylor.
And Taylor.
Speaking of Taylor, we couldn't have a whole episode without talking about King and Queen of the NFL. Especially, they were out and about so much. Okay, so we all know she came to Sunday's game in Arrowhead looking hotter than she has ever looked.
Good.
She looked so good.
I think it like maybe the lipstick color. Are we over the red? I don't know.
The full denim ensemble, the high boots. It was great. And then it was an embarrassment of riches. They were out all weekend. They flew to New York. They went out to dinner. When was their game? Sunday? The Chiefs game.
They played Thursday. So he was...
Okay, I was like, this couldn't have all happened. You're right. Okay.
It was a long weekend.
It was a long weekend. It's a blur. So much football. So much Taylor. Right. So they played Thursday. They immediately flew to New York because they were there for a wedding Saturday night. The recording studio, she always records at Electric Lady Studios. The owner was getting married at the studio. So she went obviously with Travis. They're inseparable. Then they were at the US Open on Monday.
That was on
Sunday.
Sunday.
Was that yesterday? I'm so confused.
I'm pretty sure it was
Monday. It was on Sunday. Oh, right. Because he was watching football. He had his phone propped up against his drink. And we don't know for sure, but we suspect he was watching football.
And you can't forget who's always with them.
Yes, exactly.
His mustache.
I thought we were talking about the Mahomes, but you're right. That mustache.
I mean, we commented on Taylor's looks, but we kind of have to talk about the mustache.
Yeah, the outfit wasn't great for Travis, the mustache.
It's not looking very good.
I could do without that, but he's just there for her to shine.
You're right.
But so after last week, when Britney liked and then doubled down on pro-Trump social posts, she was notably not with Taylor in the suite on Thursday's game. So everyone's like, Taylor's making a statement. She won't be seen with Britney. Not correct. Because Sunday, Britney Mahomes, Patrick Mahomes, Taylor, and Travis and the band Haim, they were all together at the US Open. But nobody was having as much fun as Taylor and Travis. Everybody else is sitting there watching the game. Taylor and Travis are in their own little love bubble. They're singing to each other.
Yeah,
they're
she's singing like every word of every song.
They're so happy.
That divorce rumor from last week. She can't, not divorced, not even married. Look at me.
We're getting ahead of ourselves.
Jumping in.
Although some people online are like, wow, they had to go out 5 nights in a row just to counteract those breakup rumors.
They're busy.
They're busy. They're going to people's weddings. They're seeing, she's out there experiencing the world as she should be. She's been, cooped up for years. Please keep going out in public. It gives me so much joy just looking at how they look at each other. It's a thrill for me, and I think for a lot of us out there. So thank you for the gift of your public displays of affection.
Don't thank you for the mustache. So last week, Marisa got her own segment where she got to rant about whatever she wanted.
Mm-hmm. And it's only fair that Kelly gets one too. So welcome to Kelly's Corner.
Kelly corner.
That's so fun.
Isn't it fun to have your own
I'm
theme
so
song?
excited.
Yeah, great. Kelly, what are you going to use your time for?
Today, get ready.
I'm ready.
I'm going to use this time to brag about the Patriots. But before that, I am going to brag about beating you in fantasy. One more time.
As is your right. We're in
Yeah.
your corner.
I had a great weekend, and I just have to let everyone out there know that it's only going to get better from here, right?
Yep.
Okay, so the Patriots, this was the first game without Belichick in 24 years.
Wow. I didn't really realize that.
I know, that's like most of my life.
Yeah. Yeah.
Crazy. And nobody, but me, of course, thought that the Patriots would pull off a win against the Bengals.
That's true. I did not think so.
The spread was like 7.5 points, which means that they were projected to lose by at least one touchdown. But the Patriots pulled off a win. They won 16-10, and it was the first season opening win since 2020. So we are back, baby.
Yeah.
Which is kind of sad also, but I'm so here for it because I get to brag right now.
Yeah, you do.
And if you remember, a few weeks ago, I made a prediction that the Patriots will win at least 6 games, which was a lot more than everyone else is predicting,
Yeah.
believe it or not. But I think we are right on track for that.
You're 1/6 of the way there.
1/6 of the way, feeling confident going into week 2 against the Seahawks. I will be at the game, so that seems like good luck.
Yeah.
And another thing that I need to brag about, we
Okay.
talked about fantasy, but Marissa and I are also in a Survivor League, which is where we pick one team per week to win and move on to the next week, which sounds really easy, but it's so hard to pick a week, especially week 1.
And you can only pick each team once. So
You
you
can pick
can't
each team
every
once.
week be like, the 49ers are going to win. Because
Yeah.
once you pick them, you can't pick them anymore.
Yeah, you want to like try to be strategic about who you're picking and save them for later.
And this is my first year doing this. Because I'm like, how many different football games can I get into? And I thought if I had to pick one team that would definitely lose this week, I picked the Patriots.
Yeah.
I picked that the Bengals would beat them.
Yeah, you picked them, and 36% of the pool picked them. So my odds just got a lot better.
And there's like hundreds of people in
Yeah,
this league. Yeah.
this is real fun.
I'm out. And once you're wrong, you're out. Like it's not you get 3 strikes. I'm just no longer in this game anymore.
Don't root against me.
That's-
We're a team.
That's the lesson.
That's the lesson. But to talk about the Patriots real quick, just had to give a few shout outs. I mean, Jacoby Brissett, it's quarterback. It wasn't all that impressive when you look at the stats, but he did what he needed to do. He had a 63% passer rating, no touchdowns, but no interceptions. He held on to the ball. We like that.
Definitely.
And hey, it's better than Caleb Williams. He only had a 48% passer rating,
So much hype.
93 yards. So I'll take it.
Yeah.
He's no first round pick, but he's our pick.
Yeah.
Ramondre Stevenson, running back, he had an impressive game as well. He had 120 yards. He's also on my fantasy team, so
Nice.
he helped beat you.
Yeah. Thanks for that.
And then, of course,
Guy.
the defense. I was very sad about losing Matthew Judon, but defense came out to play. And as I say, defense wins championships.
My defense in fantasy was the Jets and they suck. So we should have
I
picked the
know,
Patriots.
Same, honestly. The Jets screwed us all over. Yeah, Keon White and Jabril Peppers on the defense had great games, and maybe there's something to say about these Guardian caps because Jabril Peppers, he made his debut wearing the Guardian cap.
Yes, this is something I definitely want to talk about.
Yes, there were 5 players who wore these Guardian caps in week 1
So they're like extra padded helmets that players have been using.
in practice and preseason games.
And this was the first year that they were given the okay to wear them during a season game if they want to.
Yeah.
And a few players have come out and said, why wouldn't you want to protect your brain a little bit more?
Yeah, and like in practice, sure, they look a little ridiculous because they're just like foam padding over the helmet, but they put these like covers over them. I couldn't even notice, honestly, who was wearing it and who wasn't.
Yeah, it's just like a slightly bigger looking
Well,
helmet. Yeah.
But yeah, to me, it's why wouldn't you wear one if you
Same.
want to try to play longer and protect yourself? There has been a study that Guardian caps have reduced concussions by 50%
Wow.
in the preseason games. And then the way it works is when there's a collision that happens, it reduces the impact by like 10%, like the impact to your head. And if the other player is wearing it too, and you both collide, then the impact is reduced to like 20%. So everyone should really be wearing these.
Yeah, definitely. I learned about the Guardian cap thing from it was either an Instagram reel or a TikTok, but a video on social media when Colts tight end Kylan Granson made a video all about why he was going to wear one. And he said at one point people thought seatbelts were stupid, which is just like the most duh thing. Like he...
I also saw something where people were like, yeah, people used to play hockey without helmets. Like just things like we need to improve.
Yes.
Like, let's just not do what we've been doing.
And it's been clear that concussion, CTE, brain injury, they happen a lot to football players. And why would you want that to happen to you? This guy, Kylan Granson, he got engaged during the off season. He said he wants to start a family. And why wouldn't he take every measure he could, not only to advocate for his own health and safety, but to set an example for other athletes? I think he's a pioneer. All the guys who wore them this week, pioneers. Good for them. It can be scary to like take the first step, but I think football.
I think people will look back and think everyone else is an idiot for not wearing them.
Yeah, definitely. And football can be exciting and entertaining without being like a gladiator battle.
Yeah,
where people are injuring themselves, ending their careers,
risking their lives
every game. So I was gonna make like a Guardian caps off to them. Never mind. But good for them.
Guardian caps on.
Guardian caps on, and a hat tip, whatever, to those guys for putting their safety first.
Leading the way, and hopefully others follow.
Mm-hmm.
And that brings us to our final goss.
Final goss.
What do you have for us, Marissa?
Today's final goss is a little bit of a quickie, but it seems like Eagles quarterback and American heartthrob Jalen Hurts is engaged. It has not been reported widely, TMZ, Daily Mail, but his longtime girlfriend, Bree Burrows, was spotted giving him a kiss on the sidelines on Friday in his game against the Packers in Brazil.
Oh, she traveled all the way down.
Yep. And she traveled with, as you can see in the picture of them kissing, on her left ring finger, a big old rock. So, it doesn't take a detective to figure out. I'm pretty sure they're engaged. They haven't confirmed, which isn't surprising because they've kept their relationship super private. But his teammate, Darius Slay Jr.'s wife, Jennifer Slay, did retweet the picture with the caption, "Oh my God, they're engaged," with a bunch of heart eye emojis. So she didn't get the memo that this is supposed to be kept quiet, I guess.
Yeah, that's actually interesting that she like retweeted it versus just like talking to her. Like, I don't know.
Or
don't
like,
wags
congrats,
talk to each other.
right. Like it seemed like a fan. I actually had to scroll through to be like, is this a fan? But she's definitely his teammate's wife. We talked about Jalen and Bree a little bit last season. They've been together, maybe on and off, maybe on the whole time, but just really private since their time together at University of Alabama. And they finally confirmed their relationship publicly back in January 2023.
College sweethearts.
Yeah. We're sad for the women of America because we all love Jalen Hurts, but happy for the two of them.
Yeah, congratulations.
And happy, hopefully, for wedding content to come.
Oh, yeah, we love that. That's what we're here for.
Definitely.
And that about wraps up another episode of the Tea Huddle. Everyone be sure to come back next week.
Yes, maybe Kelly will be done bragging about her fantasy win by then.
Maybe I'll give you a break. We'll see what week 2 has in store.
We'll tune in next week. We will have the latest arrests, which I'm sure there will be some, relationships, lawsuits, and whatever else comes our way.
And until then, stay juicy.